procedure. We ask for the blessings of Bhagwan on the doctors and nurses that are engaged in such. Those persons who may be dealing with the loss of a loved one, we ask for that comfort and that solace to be bestowed upon them. Let us all now stand as we engage in invocation mantra. As we do so, I invite you to gaze at the murtis before you, whichever form you find most endearing, whichever form you find most appealing. Allow your gaze to rest on that particular form. Capturing that form in your heart and in your mind, you close your eyes, the windows to this physical world, going within, retaining that form of that most merciful, most gracious being within. O Prabhu, we come before you in complete surrender. We come before you to offer our love. We come before you to offer our adorations. Hari Om. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatye Namaha. Om Shri Guru Charana Kamalebhyo Namaha. Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakarishu Sarvara Jayanti Mangalakali Bhadrakali Kapalini Durgakshama Shiva Dhatri Swaha Swadha Namostute Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Bande Jagadguru Nagindraharaya Trilochanaya Bhasmangaragaya Maheshwaraya Nityaya Shuddhaya Digambaragaya Tasmai Nakaraya Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandramabhedase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaye Pataye Namaha Om Manojavam Marutatulyabhegyam Jetindriyam Buddhimatam Varishtam Bhatatmajam Vanariyutamukam Shri Ramadutam Shirishi Namami Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Resume our seats. We engage in kirtan, and as we do so, we all join together, clapping and singing and glorifying Bhagwan.
Jai Jai Ganapati, Jai Ganapati, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganapati, Jai 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 Ganapati, Jai Ganapati, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganapati, Jai Jai Ganapati Vighna Vinashana Hari, Ganapati Vighna Vinashana Hari, Ganapati Vighna Vinashana Hari, Ganapati Vighna Vinashana Hari, Ganapati Jai Ganapati Jai गणपति विघ्न विनाशनहारी गणपति जय गणपति जय गणेश जय गणपति जय जय मोदक नीत दीत जननी जब तुम छलकनु पुर झनकारी मोदक नीत दीत जननी जब तुम छलकनु पुर झनकारी रिधि सीधे दो चवड़ दुलावत रिधि सीधे दो चवड़ दुलावत सुर समूह लखी होत सुहागे गणपति विघ्न विनाशनहारी गणपति विघ्न विनाशनहारी गणपति जय गणपति जय गणेश जय गणपति जय 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 गणपति जय गणपति जय गणेश जय गणपति जय 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 गणेश जय गणपति जय 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 गणेश जय गणपति जय जय
प्रेम से बोले श्री गणेश भगवान की जय. We continue with Kirtan. Let us all join together as we sing and glorify Bhagwan.
You join in reciting the mantras of the Hanuman Chalisa. Shri Guru Charan Saroj Rij Nij Man Mukur Sudhar Barno Raghumar Bimal Jasu Jo Dayak Palchar बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार लाए सजीवन लखन जियाए, श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई, तुम मम प्रिय भरत सम भाई। सहस वदन तुमरो जस गावे, अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे। संकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा, नारद शारद सहित अहिसा। यम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते, कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते। तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीना, राम मिलाए राजपद दीना। तुमरो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना। युग सहस्र योजन पर भानु, लीलो ताहि मधुर फल जानु। प्रभु मुद्रिका मिली मुख माही, जय लाग गए अचरज नाही। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे तेते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे। सब सुख लहे तुम्हारी सरना, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज समारो आपे, तीनों लोक हांकते कापे। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नासे रोग हरे सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा। संकट से हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमृत जीवन फल पावे। चारों युग परिताप तुम्हारा, है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नवनिधि के दाता, असबर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुवरपुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि बात कहा पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होई सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, कीजे नाथ हृदय महादेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरन, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुरभूप। सियापति रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय।
प्रेम से बोले श्री पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय. Now get ready for our Bhagavad Gita. Hand over to Pandit Devendra. Please have your Bhagavad Gitas at hand. They are all available on the benches next to you.
गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो,
गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो।
राधा रमण हरि गोविंद बोलो,
राधा रमण हरि गोविंद बोलो।
गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो,
गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो।
गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो,
गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो।
ओ राधा रमण हरि गोविंद बोलो,
राधा रमण हरि गोविंद बोलो।
राधा रमण हरि गोविंद बोलो,
राधा रमण हरि गोविंद बोलो।
राधा रमण हरि गोविंद बोलो,
राधा रमण हरि गोविंद बोलो।
प्रेम से बोलो श्री गोविंद कृष्ण भगवान की जय. Sitaram everyone. Let us just for a few moments recite the Trambakam mantra for all who are not feeling well, who in any way feel that they have some little difficulty. We ask Bhagavan to just bless us and to bless them. Om Triambakam yajamahe, sugandhim pushti vardhanam, urvarukamiva vandhana, mrityormokshiya mamritam. Om Triambakam yajamahe, sugandhim pushti
वर्धनम्
urvarukamiva vandhana, mrityormokshiya mamrita, mrityormokshiya mamrita. हर नम पार्वती पतये, हर 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 महादेव. प्रेम से उमापति महादेव की जय. Let us join together today in reciting the Bhagavad Gita Dhyanam as we've done so many times. Does everyone have a copy that they can read easily? Are we seeing it up on the screen? Does anyone need a copy? Please raise hands, otherwise we can begin otherwise. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavatam
नारायणेन स्वरं व्यासेन
प्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणि भगवती अष्टादशाध्यायिनी अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते
भवेद्वेषिणी
नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे कुलारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्रः येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयः प्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय
स्तोत्रवेत्रकपायिनी
ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे
नमः।
सर्व उपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा
गोपालनन्दना
पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं
गीतामृतामहत्
वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनम् देवकी परमानन्दम्
कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरु
कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरु कृष्णं
वन्दे जगद्गुरु।
प्रेम से बोल श्री गोविंद कृष्ण भगवान की जय. Today we continue in chapter 9 from verse number 21 and we will go to the end of the chapter in one reading. Roger, thank you so much for volunteering. Can we have a microphone for Roger, please?
Sitaram, everyone.
Sitaram.
Page 111 for everyone. Having enjoyed the extensive heaven world, they return to this world of mortals on the stock of their merits being exhausted. Thus devoted to the ritual with interested motive, recommended by the three Vedas as the means of attaining heavenly bliss and seeking worldly enjoyments, they repeatedly come and go, that is, ascend to heaven by virtue of their merits and return to earth when their fruit has been enjoyed. The devotees, however, who loving no one else, constantly thinking of me, and worship me in a disinterested spirit, to those ever united in thought with me, I bring full security and personally attend to their needs. Arjun, even those devotees who endowed with this faith worship other gods with some interested motive, worship me alone, though with a mistaken approach. For I am the enjoyer and also the Lord of all sacrifices. But they who do not know me in reality as the supreme deity, they fall. That is, they return to life on earth. Those who are votaries of gods go to gods. Those who are votaries of maims reach the maims. Those who adore the spirits reach the spirits. And those who worship me come to me alone. That is why my devotees are no longer subject to birth and death. Whosoever offers me with love a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I appear in person before that selfless devotee of sinless mind, and delightfully partake of that article offered by him with love. Arjun, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer as oblation to the sacred fire, whatever you bestowed as a gift, whatever you do by way of penance, offer all that to me. With your mind thus established in the yoga of renunciation, offering of all actions to me, you will be freed from the bondage of action in the form of good and evil results. Thus freed from them, you will attain me. I am equally present in all beings. There is none hateful or dear to me. They, whoever who devoutly worship me, abide in me, and I too stand revealed to them. Even in the vilest sinner worships me with exclusive devotion, he should be regarded a saint, for he has rightfully resolved. He is positive in his belief, and there is nothing like devoted worship of God. Speedily he becomes virtuous and attains abiding peace. Know it for certain, Arjun, that my devotee never perishes. Arjun, women, Vyas, members of training and agriculturist classes, Sudras, those belonging to the labor and artisan classes, as well as those of impious birth, such as the pariah. For whoever they may be, they take refuge in me. They too attain the supreme goal. How much more then, if they be holy, be Brahmas and royal sages devoted to me? Therefore, having obtained the joyless and transient human life, constantly worship me. Fix your mind on me, be devoted to me, worship me, and make obeisance to me. Thus, linking yourself with me and entirely depending on me, you shall come to me. Thus, in the Upanishad sung by the Lord, the science of Brahma, the scripture of yoga, and dialogue between Sri Krishna and Arjuna, ends the 9th chapter entitled The Yoga of Sovereign Science and Sovereign Secrets.
प्रेम से बोलो श्री गोविंद कृष्ण भगवान की जय. Thank you very much, Raja. गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो, गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो, राधा रमण हरि गोविंद बोलो, राधा रमण हरि
गोविंद बोलो,
गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो,
गोविंद बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो,
राधा रमण हरि गोविंद 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 बोलो.
प्रेम से बोलो श्री गोविंद कृष्ण भगवान की जय. So we've completed chapter 9. We've done a very good job. We're here in the 9th month, finishing chapter 9. As we continue, we ask Bhagwan to continue to bless each and every one of us. Each one of those shlokas that we read today are very deep. If you get a chance during the course of this week, if you have one shlok that you liked out of those that were read today, take that one and try to understand what it means. Think about it. Sometimes you might be sitting alone somewhere and you have nothing to think about. Instead of scrolling, start thinking. Think about, what do these lines mean? Do these 2 lines from the Bhagavad Gita tells me? What does it mean to me? And spend that time, close your eyes for a moment and just think about it. You will be amazed by how many thoughts permeate into your mind, and you sometimes have a difficulty trying to keep them. Don't keep them still. Don't try to subdue them. Let the thoughts come. You will make sense of it later on. And in that vein, I ask us now to sit upright as we meditate on Krishna Bhagwan. Shambhu, turn face Krishna Bhagwan too. And we all focus on him. Next to him is Ganesh Ji, Riddhi Siddhi Sahita. Prabhu, we've gotten a chance for this week to come before you to do puja in your form of Ganesh Ji. We ask that you continue to bless, guide and protect us always. We ask that you continue to fill our lives with happiness, with prosperity and success. And as I focus on your divine form now, I ask you to please fill my life with your presence. Om Namo Bhagavate वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय As I look at you, Prabhu, I see your feet and your wonderfully falling dhoti. Om Namo. I move my gaze up your chest. I look at the jewels on your chest, Prabhu. Adorn my life with all prosperity and success that is rooted on you always. I look to your hands and to that basuri as it calls out to me, hey bachcho, hey children, come to me, rely on me, have faith in me. And as I look at your smile and your beautiful eyes, I focus on you and you alone. Prabhu, fill me with your love. Fill me with your blessing. And as I look at you again, smilingly, lovingly looking to me, I move my gaze down once again to your chest and to your dhoti. So beautifully flowing it is. Do you see it on the end? The dhoti just wafts in the wind, calling us, come my children. And I focus on your feet. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate. I take a deep breath in and out, and inhale in all positive qualities and out all my negativities, all my problems, and in once again and out. Prem se bolo Shri Govind Krishna Bhagavan ki jai. Prabhu, thank you for giving us this opportunity to come before you to do puja today. Jai Govinda.
Thank you very much, Panditji. We will have our Balvihar class now. We invite all of the children to please move quietly with your teachers to the Balvihar class. Those of you who may be with us for the first time, we encourage you to join. Those of you who may not have been at the class for a little bit, we ask you to please resume this morning as you go downstairs with your teachers. We chant for a few moments while the children take the exit. Om Gam Ganapataye Namo Namah Shri Siddhi Vinayak Namo Namah Ashta Vinayak Namo Namah Mangala Murti Moreya. Om Gam Ganapataye Namo Namah Shri Siddhi Vinayak Namo Namah Ashta Vinayak Namo Namah Mangala Murti Moreya. Om Gam Ganapataye Namo Namah Shri Siddhi Vinayak Namo Namah Ashta Vinayak Namo Namah मंगल मूर्ति मोरया, मंगल मूर्ति मोरया, मंगल मूर्ति मोरया। प्रेम से बोले श्री गणेश भगवान की जय। सबको ही जय सीताराम। This morning we are very fortunate to be able to come to Mandir as a family and to offer our puja, to offer our love, to listen to the glories of Bhagwan, and indeed this morning to recite together collectively the verses of Bhagavad Gita. As you're well aware, we're in the midst of the Ganesh Utsav period. We commenced our yajna last night. Prior to that, those of you who were here last Sunday, the Murti of Ganesh Bhagwan would have been brought to the Mandir, and the Pran Pratishtha Puja was performed on Monday. And since then, we've been performing puja each and every day with our yajna, as I said, starting last night. Continues tonight. Pandit Devendra will be officiating tonight, tomorrow as well, and then Tuesday and Wednesday, Wednesday being our final night. And we will then conclude with the Visarjan ceremony here on Thursday morning, starting from 10 a.m. And those of you who are able to make it, we invite you to do so. Today, we are in the midst of a long weekend. And if we were to ask the question when we got up this morning, do I remember what today is? Some people will say, well, it's the CPL finals. People will say, well, it's the middle of the long weekend. But today marks the celebration of our Republican status as a country, 24th of September. And we celebrate not 5, not 10, not 15, not 20, but 47 years as a Republican nation. And when we think about it, we are one of just a few Caribbean territories that have attained that status, others being Guyana, the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, and the last being recently Barbados. And we must ask ourselves, what is the meaning of that status for us as citizens of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago? Does it in fact mean anything to us? How does that relate to our dharma as Sanatanist Hindus? How does that relate to what we are doing currently in terms of performing Ganeshji Puja? And is there any relationship at all? For those of you who were here last night, or those who may have been looking online, our Vyas last night, Pandit Rajendranath Maharaj, spoke about one of the incarnations of Ganeshji. And as we know, this form that we see here is almost replicated in all of his incarnations with the exception of the Vahan that he uses. And last night's Katha was Ganeshji using the Vahan of the, those of you who are here, do you remember?
Tiger.
The lion, excellent. So mom gets 100 marks. Yes, the lion. And one of the things associated with the different forms or avatars of Ganesh Bhagwan is the destruction of a particular asura. And so last night we were speaking about the destruction of a particular asura which would have been formed from desire. From desire. And without question, each and every one of us would have those negative tendencies and qualities. Panditji himself was speaking shortly when we were talking about Bhagavad Gita, about the use of the recitation of the shlokas from Bhagavad Gita, about the importance of understanding. And this morning when Roger, for example, was reciting those shlokas from shloka 21 to 34, underpinning all of the shlokas was this question of knowledge, the question of awareness, the question of performing things deliberately in a focused way, and that love and devotion. Now, Ganesh Bhagwan, when we listened last night, one of the things he epitomizes is that form of God who grants wisdom. That form of God who grants wisdom. And Avyas last night was making that point. When you look at that form, Gajanan Swami, that form with the elephant head, that epitomizes symbolically that concept or that facet of wisdom. Not that other manifestations are devoid of that, but in a very tangible way, it is reminded to us. And Vyas is also making the point of the celebration of Ganesh Bhagwan, of the puja to Ganesh Bhagwan, of the worship of Ganesh Bhagwan, not being confined to places, where we would ordinarily seek him out. So in India, for example, there's a grand celebration, almost party-like in some instances, about the celebration of Ganesh Bhagwan. But we need to be careful, because I'm sure many of you would have seen images coming across about how that observance is sometimes now moving away from its moorings about what it should be. Like I said, it has become almost in some instances a party atmosphere. And nothing is wrong with gaiety and celebration, but one must be mindful about how we celebrate and why we celebrate and what are the practices associated. So one of the things we see, for example, in many places, including India, is the form of Ganesh Bhagwan which is not environmentally friendly being used. And as a result of that, when the Utsav festival is complete, we see something that is undesirable being left behind in terms of pollutants to the watercourses and pollutants to the environment. And why is that relevant? Because sometimes that lack of awareness, that lack of knowledge, that lack of sensitivity is there. And so it is important for us when we pray to Ganesh Bhagwan, recognizing that he epitomizes wisdom, that we try to have that wisdom nurtured, generated, and flourish in our own lives and in our minds by the exposure that we have in the correct places and to the correct things. So for example, when we perform puja, we recognize when we are performing Panchatattva, for example, the different aspects and elements, that they are all representative of this universe, this world that we occupy. And therefore recognizing that divinity in the water, in the earth, in the air, in the space, in fire, in that heat and so on, as undesirable as the heat was recently. We recognize that we, in our daily activities, must do things that are aligned to protecting and preserving the environment, so that when our younger ones proceed in the next couple of generations, they will have a place that they can enjoy as home, as this earth that we occupy. So praying to Ganesh Bhagwan for that wisdom is important for us at all times and in all facets of our lives. But praying to him is one thing, but also embodying the practices that are prescribed in the various festivals, in our various pujas, and that are prescribed in our scriptures is also very, very important, if not invaluable. And so Padiji said, for example, when you're reading, to use the time during the course of the week, to go back into the shlokas of Bhagavad Gita, and each and every time you read a particular shloka, a different meaning comes to you, a different facet comes to you, a new relevance comes to you, and that is the wisdom that is unfolding in our mind as we expose ourselves to that goodness. And that is very critical. Coming to Mandir, going to Yajna and Satsang are very critical because it allows you that exposure in a beneficial environment. And it is unquestionable that young persons who find themselves in that environment, invariably as they go on in life, are well adjusted, they facilitate holistic development, and they excel in the different facets of endeavor in which they are engaged in. As much as for the young person, you might think, well, it's not cool to come to Mandir. It is cool. The problem is the wisdom is not there for you to recognize how cool it is. If Panditji was not coming to Mandir when he was a little boy, he would not have been able to play dholak like how he was playing this morning, and would be able to provide that seva that he does frequently. But when we're small, that doesn't seem cool. Nivedita is here playing tabla this morning because since at a tender age, her mom ensured that she was going to classes and so on. For many young people, that's not a cool thing. But you'd be surprised how cool it is. Because music and engaging in that form of dynamic, in that form of artistry, in that development, develops other parts of your mind that allow you to excel in all areas. And that is empirically proven. There's no question about it. And that is where the wisdom comes along. And so for the young ones who might think, nobody here because you're here, but those who may be looking on and those who you would relay this message to, that coming to Mandir or engaging in music class or singing or dance class or what have you is not cool, then you really have another think coming. Because when you get a little older and you recognize that, hey, if only I had done this, then I would be in a different place with different opportunities, then you might think it's too late. But it is never too late. But once that wisdom and that realization comes, that is where we move from. How does all of this and Ganesh Ji tie into our Republican status? So let us think for a moment, what does it mean to be a Republican status? So we hear much about independence. Trinidad and Tobago is an independent country as of 1962. And in that regard, we had direction in our self-government and what were the decisions that we were allowed to do. When we became a Republican status, one of the meaningful changes was that the Queen, now the King, is no longer our head of state. It means that as a territory, a small twin island state of Trinidad and Tobago with now just about 1.4 million people, just really a speck, that we are able to govern our own destiny in terms of the decision-making process. And we must ask ourselves, 47 years hence, have we really had that wisdom that leads us to that place that we want to be? Have our leaders and decision makers put us along a trajectory that will allow us to be where we want to be as an independent Republican state? And the answer is yes, in some ways they have. Because very often we look at things and we look at the glass as being half empty instead of being half full. The fact that we can enjoy the liberties that we enjoy, sitting together peacefully, to exercise our religion, to perform our dharma, to worship in the way that we do without any inhibition, without any restriction, is a testimony to that trajectory that we've been on. The words of our national anthem that were crafted here, every creed and race finds an equal place, is a truism because we are afforded that opportunity. But that opportunity and that foundation must always be jealously guarded. We must never accept it as something that will always be there. And that's where our independent institutions, including the office of the president, who is now our head of state, becomes very important. But we must confess, quite rightly, that are we at a place, rather, where we would like to be? Or is there much more to be done? And the answer is very simple before us. There is much more to be done. There is much more to be done. And therefore, that wisdom that Ganesh Bhagwan bestows upon us is really something that we need to have imbibed in each of our lives. It is something that needs to be engendered in persons who hold a high office and positions of leadership, so that the views that are being looked at, the decisions that are being made, are not myopic in nature, but they're the decisions that will affect all of the persons in an equitable manner. They're the decisions that will be looked at not only for today, but for generations ahead, to allow for that betterment. And when we look at our country at this point in time, there are many things that need fixing. Just Thursday gone, we witnessed something that was so horrific that words cannot even begin to describe. When 4 young persons of the Peterkin family, while asleep in their bed at home, had their lives taken in a most horrific and tragic way. And when we think about the atrocity that was committed by those 4 persons losing their lives, we wonder of the nature of the individuals who commit such atrocities. We wonder of the perpetrators that may have made the decision for that atrocity to be committed. We wonder whether or not the perpetrators will be caught and will be brought to justice. And with due deference to justice, whether the justice system will allow for justice to be delivered. And when we look at all of those chain of events, we recognize where the wisdom is lacking in our society. Because those individuals who committed that act, for whatever reason, had wisdom absent from their minds. And that was not something that happened when that moment occurred, but that was something that was occurring as they were growing up, as they were being exposed to different elements. That wisdom of removing them from places where those atrocities and that negative tendency was being cultivated and nurtured, that wisdom was absent to remove them from there. Whether it be in the home, whether it be in the school system, whether it be in the community, that wisdom was absent. The ability to acquire the weaponry that they did means that the persons who are responsible to ensure that that type of weaponry is not available in this country and available in the wrong hands was absent. Where were our border guards at the point in time where those weapons were coming in? Where were the persons to ensure that our borders were protected? The persons to make the decisions, to provide the resources to ensure that that was done. The wisdom was absent there as well. What about the persons who directed that this activity be done? Again, what really would have engendered that? And so we see that there are many factors where wisdom is missing, wisdom is lacking, wisdom is absent. And it leads to decisions that are made that result in disastrous consequences. But I say to you that there is always hope. That if each and every one of us engenders in ourselves and in our families and in our community, and we demand from those who hold office and are in positions of influence that they exercise their authority with wisdom, with impartiality, with equity, with regard for not only what is present but what is to come, then we will see a much better place and a place where we want to be. And so, as we celebrate our Republican status, as we ought to, quite rightfully, for the young ones, we must remember what it means to us, what it ought to mean. Because very often we say for parents, and I mean, really you can't fault it now, this country, parents are crying now, does not hold a future for our young people. But I disagree. This country is now the place where the young people with the intelligence and with that moral grounding ought to be, so that they can make the difference for the future. Because regardless of where you go in this world, there are always difficulties, there are always problems, there are always challenges. And as small as we are, it gives us a greater potential to make a difference because we are that small. Our problems might seem great, but the solutions are there once they are guided by that wisdom that Ganesh Bhagwan can afford us. So as we celebrate this Utsav, as we come and we perform puja to Ganesh Bhagwan, as we offer the various ingredients that are offered, and again, Bhagavad Gita this morning was very instructive. He who offers to me a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or even a drop of water, I accept that. The most important ingredient being devotion. So let us recognize that and imbibe that in our practices. Exhibit that in the way in which we behave, how we act, how we speak, the decisions that we make. From the youngest of children to the oldest of persons, we all have that ability and that capability. So this morning, I want to wish us all a very happy Republic Day. I want to wish us all continued blessings of Ganesh Bhagwan. And I want to commend to us all the practices that will allow us to develop that wisdom so that we can make a difference in our lives, in the lives of our families, in the lives of our community and our country and all of humanity. Prem se bole Shri Ganesh Bhagwan ki jai. I invite you to come forward now. You perform your arti. We are not having any offerings by the Bedi this morning. Those of you who may have brought prasad to Charawe, we will do the offerings by the Murti. So come forward at this time.
पाहि पाहि गजानना पार्वती नंदा गजानना
पाहि पाहि गजानना
पार्वती नंदा गजानना पाहि पाहि गजानना पार्वती नंदा गजानना
पाहि पाहि गजानना पार्वती नंदा
गजानना एकादन्ता गजानना अनेकदन्तं विद्यानना
एकादन्ता गजानना
अनेकदन्तं विद्यानना पाहि पाहि गजानना पार्वती नंदा गजानना
पाहि पाहि गजानना पार्वती नंदन गजानना
लंबोदर हि गजानना लंबाउरधर विनानना
लंबोदर हे गजानना लंबोदर गजानना
पाहि पाहि गजानना पार्वती नंदा गजानना पाहि पाहि गजानना पार्वती नंदा गजानना गजानना हि गजानना गजानना हि गजानना
गजानना हि गजानना गजानना हि गजानना
पाहि पाहि गजानना पार्वती नंदा गजानना
पाहि पाहि गजानना
पार्वती नंदा गजानना सूक्ष्मानेत्रा गजानना अनंत कर्मा विचारणा सूक्ष्मानेत्रा गजानना अनंत कर्मा विचारणा पाहि पाहि गजानना पार्वती नंदा गजानना पाहि पाहि
गजानना पार्वती नंदा गजानना
चिन्मय मुद्रा मुधन चतुरा योगा मुद्रा समाधि फल चिन्मय मुद्रा मुधन चतुरा योगा मुद्रा समाधि फल पाहि पाहि गजानना पार्वती नंदा गजानना पाहि पाहि गजानना पार्वती नंदा गजानना सच्चिदानंदा गजानना नित्यानंदा निरंजना
सच्चिदानंदा गजानना नित्यानंदा निरंजना
पाहि पाहि गजानना पार्वती नंदा गजानना
पाहि पाहि गजानना पार्वती नंदा
गजानना पार्वती नंदा गजानना
पार्वती नंदा गजानना
गणनाथा गजवरना गणनाथा दीनबंधु
गणनाथा गजवरना गणनाथा दीनबंधु
गणनाथा गजवरना गणनाथा दीनबंधु
गणनाथा गजवरना गणनाथा दीनबंधु
सिद्धिदाता शिवतनया
सिद्धिदाता शिवतनया सिद्धिप्रदायक गजानना
पार्वती नंदन
पार्वतीनन्दन भवभयभञ्जन
पार्वतीनन्दन
पार्वतीनन्दन भवभयभञ्जन
युग युग वंदन जय श्री गणेश
युग युग वन्दन जय श्री गणेश
युग युग वंदन जय श्री गणेश
युग युग वन्दन जय श्री गणेश
गणनाथा गजवरना गणनाथा दीनबंधु
गणनाथा गजवरना गणनाथा दीनबंधु
गणनाथा गजवरना गणनाथा दीनबंधु
गणनाथा गजवरना गणनाथा दीनबंधु
सिद्धिदाता शिवतनया
सिद्धिदाता शिवतनया
सिद्धिदाता शिवतनया
सिद्धिदाता शिवतनया
सिद्धिप्रदायक गजानना
सिद्धिप्रदायक गजानना
सिद्धिप्रदायक गजानना
सिद्धिप्रदायक गजानना
पार्वती नंदन भवभयभञ्जन
पार्वती नंदन भवभयभञ्जन
पार्वती नंदन भवभयभञ्जन
पार्वती नंदन भवभयभञ्जन
युग युग वंदन जय श्री गणेश
युग युग वन्दन जय श्री गणेश
गणनाथा गजवरना गणनाथा दीनबंधु
गणनाथा गजवरना गणनाथा दीनबंधु
गणनाथा गजवरना गणनाथा दीनबंधु
गणनाथा गजवरना गणनाथा दीनबंधु
गाइए गणपति शंकर सुवन भवानी नंदन शंकर सुवन भवानी नंदन गाइए गणपति जगवंदन गाई कहवा तिनक दिन गाइए गणपति जगवंदन
गाइए गणपति जगवंदन
शंकर सुवन भवानी नंदन
शंकर सुवन भवानी नंदन
शंकर सुवन भवानी नंदन
शंकर सुवन भवानी नंदन
गाइए गणपति जगवंदन
गाइए गणपति जगवंदन
सिद्धि सदन गजवदन विनायक
सिद्धि सदन गजवदन विनायक
सिद्धि सदन गजवदन विनायक
सिद्धि सदन गजवदन विनायक
कृपा सिंधु सुंदर सबलायक गाइए गणपति जगवंदन गाइए
गणपति जगवंदन
मोदक प्रिय मुध मंगल दाता
मोदक प्रिय मुद मंगल दाता
मोदक प्रिय मुध मंगल दाता
मोदक प्रिय मुद मंगल दाता
विद्या वारिधि बुद्धि विधाता गाइए गणपति जगवंदन गाइए
गणपति जगवंदन
मांगत तुलसीदास कर जोरे
मांगत तुलसीदास कर जोड़े
मांगत तुलसीदास कर जोरे
मांगत तुलसीदास कर जोड़े
बस ही राम सिया मानस मोरे गाइए गणपति जगवंदन गाइए गणपति
जगवंदन
शंकर सुवन भवानी नंदन
शंकर सुवन भवानी नंदन
शंकर सुवन भवानी नंदन
शंकर सुवन भवानी नंदन
गाइए गणपति जगवंदन गाइए गणपति जगवंदन गाइए गणपति जगवंदन गाइए गणपति जगवंदन प्रेम से बोलो श्री गणेश भगवान की जय
Prem Bole Shri Ganesh Bhagwan Ki Jai. So, brothers and sisters, I just want to share with you a few announcements before we stand for Archie and closing prayer. So firstly, to welcome each and every one of you this morning. In the midst of our Yagya, we are very happy to see each and every one of you this morning. Those of you who are looking and viewing us online, either on YouTube or on Facebook, Shubh Swagatam. May Bhagwan bless us all. Those of you who are inclined to give any donations towards the Mandir, and we always require your donations for the purposes of maintaining our activities, for meeting our bills and expenses. And when we have certain unexpected capital expenditure, so one of the things, for example, is again the replacement of one of the AC units that's no longer working. Those of you who are sitting close to the doorway there, you would recognize that. And these expenses require us to beseech of you sit-in funding. So those of you who would like to give donations towards that cause, we are most happy to accept those donations, and receipts will be provided. In that vein, therefore, usually what we do is once per year we have a fundraiser. We have not had any fundraisers for this current year. So there is a joint fundraiser that is being planned, and it will be held in October, and that is a Diwali dinner and evening of entertainment that will take place on Sunday the 29th of October, right here at the Mandir compound, and tickets are available from today. So from any member of the management committee who is here, our treasurer as well, there are members of the Sri Savak Sabha, so it's a joint fundraising Diwali dinner and entertainment evening with members of the Mandir and the Sri Savak Sabha coming together for this joint initiative. And we'd ask you to please patronize the tickets, because the fundraising will be used towards the upkeep of the Mandir and for various charitable activities that we are engaged in. So please patronize, buy for yourselves, your family members, friends and neighbors and so on, so that we can make this fundraiser a success. Those of you who wish to sit to perform puja, you can give your names to Mr. Babulal this morning. So Vishnu, I will delegate you this morning in the absence of the others to perform Hawan or puja on a Sunday morning. You are reminded of all of the classes that are ongoing. So the Balvihara class every Sunday, and we want to urge, particularly after what has been said last night and again today, and what we've been saying consistently, urge you to bring your children, your grandchildren, nieces, your nephews out on a consistent basis and let them be part of this Balvihara class. It really is an invaluable investment, if I may coin that term, in the future of your child, in the futures of your family and community, and it is something that will reap great rewards for their benefit. So let them come and let them participate. You're also reminded of other classes that take place every week in the Mandir, and those include yoga classes that take place here on a Monday and on other days as well. We have music classes that take place either through Rana and Suzanne Muhib, where that takes place on a Tuesday, together with dance classes by Suzanne. On a Thursday, we have tabla classes by Kiran Sankar, and he's exclusively tabla. And then on a Saturday, Bharatiya Vidya Sansthan conducts classes here at the Mandir in Hindi, in vocals, and in music as well. So there are lots of opportunities, that's the point, that is available to all and sundry, and we invite you to make yourselves available to those and to participate for the benefit of all. Finally, there is a meeting that is being held. Our Vice Chairman, Mr. Malu Maharaj, is leading that meeting right after service in the annex. And this is with regard to the focus and planning group for the execution of the Diwali dinner and evening of entertainment. Some things have been put in place, and there are other things that will require your commitment and support in terms of planning and execution of the event so that it will be successful. And therefore, we invite you to see Mr. Maharaj after service right in the annex immediately. It will not be a lengthy meeting. It will just be for about 15 or 20 minutes maximum. So we'd invite you, those of you interested and who can give of your time, to please join with him in that meeting after. Finally, as I conclude, reminder that our yagya continues this evening. Pandit Devendra will be officiating as our Vyas. We invite you to come. Vyas will be here from 6:30. We end promptly at 8:30 so that you can come and take part. Tomorrow evening, we have Pandit Jishnu Maharaj who will be here, and again, we invite you to be here. On Tuesday, we have Pandit Abhedanand Prasad Sharma. And then finally, on our final night on Wednesday, again, Pandit Devendra will be leading us. And Thursday morning will be our closing and Visarjan ceremony that will take place from 10 a.m. right here at the Mandir. On all occasions, meals are being served. So we invite you to come, bring your families, bring your neighbors, your friends and others, and join with us in this most wonderful occasion. Those of you who may be celebrating birthdays or anniversaries, Bhagwanji's blessings to you, and we wish you all of the very best. Let us all stand now for final arati and then closing prayer.
Om Jai Jagadish Hari Swami Jai Jagadish Hari Bhakt Jano ki sangat Das Jano ki sangat Jag mein dur kare
तुम अंतर्यामी पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर तुम सबके स्वामी ओम जय जगदीश हरे तुम करुणा के सागर तुम पालन करता स्वामी तुम पालन करता हम सेवक तुम स्वामी हम सेवक तुम स्वामी कृपा करो भरता ओम जय जगदीश हरे तुम हो वेग अगोचर सबके प्राणपति स्वामी सबके प्राणपति किस विधि में हो दया में किस विधि में हो दया में तुम हो मैं घुमती ओम जय जगदीश हरे दीन बंधु दुख हरता तुम रक्षक मेरे स्वामी तुम रक्षक मेरे अपने हाथ उठाओ अपने हाथ उठाओ द्वार बड़ा तेरे ओम जय जगदीश हरे ओम जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे भक्त जनों के संकट दास जनों के संकट क्षण में दूर करे ओम जय जगदीश हरे ओम जय जगदीश हरे ओम जय जगदीश हरे
Hari Om. As we conclude our puja this morning, we give thanks to you, Prabhu, for all of the blessings that you have granted to us, for this gift of this human body and for this life that we have, that we can worship you in a very focused, deliberate way. We pray for those persons who are ill, those persons who may be in the hospitals, those persons who may be undergoing surgical procedures at this moment. We ask you to bless the hands of the doctors and the nurses. May they be restored to full and good health once more. For those persons who've lost their loved ones, we ask you, Prabhu, to provide them with that strength, with that solace and that comfort to overcome their grief. For you are mother and father, you are family, you are friend, you are knowledge, you are wealth, you are everything to us. We surrender ourselves completely to you, O Prabhu. Hari Om. Tvameva Mata Shapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhu Chasika Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurama Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti 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 Hari Om प्रेम से बोले श्री गणेश भगवान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय, आज शक्ति जगदम्बा देवी मैया की जय, श्री पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय, प्रेम से बोले श्री सच्चे सनातन धर्म की जय। Introduce around you सब कोई Jai Jai Sitaram. Jai Sitaram. Have a very wonderful, very productive day. We look forward to seeing you all with us tonight. Please be here from 6:15 so that we can start promptly when our Vyas arrives at 6:30. Jai Sitaram all.